like everybody kind of rags on people that have ADHD, but it has helped me so much with designing flies and like coming up with new things. Because like I'll be vacuuming and all of a sudden it's just like bam, like something comes into my head and it's like, well, shit, I bet I got to go do this really quick, and it's like my kids are even looking at me like I'm crazy, and it's like, just hold on a second. I'm bombing out of the shower with my loofah, it's like, get out of the
way. Welcome to Guys Fishing Weekly. We don't just fish, we hook.
Hey, buddy.
Eddie.
How are you, dude?
I'm good, dude. What's going on?
Just getting through the holidays.
Right. Yep.
It's getting cold around here.
Check.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know.
It was good.
We came out of the my wife and I were working at the Starbucks this morning, came out, and it was like I was walking into a wind cold, and it was like, God dang it, I'm not ready for this. So I feel you, brother.
You don't handle cold very well, so I can only imagine.
No, I don't. No, not at all. Who we got on the show today, bro?
Today we're talking with Kyle Bakko, an Umpqua signature fly tyer and a creator of some of the most badass hopper patterns I've ever seen.
His work's incredible. He's got, we talk a little bit about it, but the foam stacking stuff that this dude does is insanely cool.
For sure.
No, great conversation. I'm stoked for this one.
Yeah, it was a blast. We talk about the importance of being present with your kids, giving back through charity, calming the ADHD mind through fly tying, and the secret of the 3-color foam body hoppers.
Yeah, buddy. Let's do it.
Hey, Kyle. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well, man. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you guys having me. This is a long time coming. I think we tried back in August, September.
It's been a while.
Something like that.
We got it worked out.
Yeah, I am too. I'm really excited for this. So
that's
I didn't sleep much last night. A little nervous.
Nothing to be nervous about. Yeah, nothing to be nervous about.
Reid fumbles over his words all the time, so don't worry about it.
All the time.
Ed's an expert editor guy, so he'll just edit anything out.
I'll make you sound like a pro.
Okay, I love it because I need all the help I can get.
Yeah. Well, we got linked up through a buddy of yours down in Wyoming, and he had a message about you, and so I'll play it just to get us all on the same page.
Okay.
As I went to college, I had a roommate. His name's Kyle Bakko. He's an Umpqua fly tyer. Just got highlighted for their 2025 fly releases. So shout out to Bakko. But he was my roommate, and he knew how to really fish, and I thought I knew how to fish. And he took me to a whole nother level. He taught me how to tie flies, and like he was the man. So I still to this day, we are dear friends and hang out all the time when we get a chance. But he showed me a whole nother side of angling, and that was kind of that fly fishing world and the bugs and tying, and man, my head just like blew up.
So obviously we had to talk to you after that ringing endorsement of being the man who led such a good guy into fishing.
Yeah, make me tear up on freaking camera. Thanks for that.
Yeah. You're a legend, Kyle.
You're a legend. I don't know. Yeah. His head did blow up because he's really going bald up here. So
nice.
Don't edit that one out either. I want him to hear it.
No, he can hear it. I'm a little offended because I'm going bald too, and so but it's all good. No, it's all good.
That's funny. No, Eric's a great guy. Like we were talking, Eric and I have been super close since I think him and I started playing basketball together 2000, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it had to have been 2000, 2001. But him and I just started hitting it off right off the bat, and he just wanted to come fishing with a buddy of mine, Jeremiah, and I one time, and the rest is history. And we ended up working on a ranch together outside of Wapiti, Wyoming, on the Double E Ranch. And that's where our evenings started filling up with him wanting to tie flies, and we started diving in, man, and then fishing the Shoshone every night after work. It was pretty awesome. Living in Wyoming was a pretty cool place to be for, how long was I down there? 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Right.
And some of the best times of my life, some of the closest friends I have are from being down in there. And none of those guys, Eric's close now, but at the time, up until he moved to Cody, I think the closest guy to me was like 7 hours away. And,
oh wow!
Right.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. He's close, and I have to do a better part of connecting with him better, for sure.
Well,
that's great.
I don't need him giving me crap anymore.
We won't hold it over your head, but he might.
He might.
He said that he always judges his friends on the question of Jordan versus LeBron.
Oh my gosh!
Which side of the track do you lean
back in the day? Oh, Jordan all day.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! With these new
no wonder you guys are such good friends.
Yeah, you guys are buddies.
Oh my God, Jordan and Bird would destroy the NBA right now.
I agree.
Can you imagine if Bill Burr was in there? Holy crap! Put Rodman back in there.
Yeah, they'd kill guys.
Right. We need some more Worm in there.
For sure. So Kyle, you grew up in Montana. And so how did you get into fishing?
Oh my gosh. So growing up, my dad and my parents, I mean, we were outside all the time. My mom wouldn't even let us inside, but we camped and fished and hunted all the time. And my dad, if I knew we were going fishing or hunting or anything, my feet, as soon as his feet hit the floor, I was right behind him.
Nice.
And so we backpacked. I have been all over Montana. But funny story, so my uncle, my dad's brother, Rick, when I was 10 years old, we went up to Island Lake and we were fishing up there. And I remember this clear. I don't remember catching the fish, but I remember my dad buying me the fly rod and Red Lodge. It was just like some little ho-dunk kit. And I honestly, I didn't know when I actually caught my first fish on a fly rod, but he had documented it in his diary.
Cool.
He actually sent me a picture of it a few years ago. I was 10 years old when I caught my first fish on a fly rod. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool because it's actually like I was 10.
Right.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then after that, I'd be in the backyard all the time with a fly rod, just casting and throwing at hula hoops or whatever I could find. You know what I mean? And just out there. And I think I was 15, if I remember correctly, that I found my dad's old tying stuff in the storage room and just got to farting around with it. I had no idea what I was doing, right? I mean, I had flies, but I had no clue how to do it. No YouTube like everybody has now.
Right.
You know, they're trying to read a book that had words in it like that big. I didn't know what I was doing. But I figured out, my dad showed me how to do the whip finish, and the rest is history, and started tying a lot. And once I got to college, and I met my buddy Jeremiah Mackmiller my freshman year of college, and I went full regalian after that. Like, I went to college to go play basketball, and I lasted about a month, and I was like, screw this, I'm fishing 70 days a semester. I'm going to do really bad in school. But, like, and I did, you know, it is what it is. My freshman year, I pretty much had to make that one up, but it was pretty cool. But that's how I got into fishing and all this stuff. And then, like, I still hunt, not as heavy as I used to, but yeah, fishing's my thing. So
good deal.
Yeah.
Fly tying takes a lot of creativity, and especially the way you tie flies. We'll get into this a little bit, but has that creativity piece always been like? Have you always had that kind of creative side to you, or did that come out more as you started tying flies?
I've always been into art. Art's always been my thing. I used to paint all the time. My sister's house actually is just. She has my pictures framed all over her house. I wouldn't say they're awesome, but she loves them. And a lot of people still ask me to this day if I'm still doing watercolors and stuff. And I've thought about it, but it's like I'm so invested now in tying flies, and absolutely love it. And it definitely resonated from that to tying, and it's still, as far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing. I mean, it's still art, and it's still so much fun. Like, it really is.
Absolutely.
Really
just
is.
watching your videos, you're having a good time.
And
you know what I mean? Like, you're smiling, you're joking, you're dropping F-bombs when you need to.
I know. I'm really trying not to cuss right now.
It's hilarious, dude. No, it's great. They're incredibly good. I love them. So
you've watched my YouTube ones.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's awesome.
No, they're because I am the same exact way. So as a teacher,
Reed's got a potty mouth.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, I could drop it with the best of them. But during the teaching year, I never had time in raising 3 kids and all that kind of stuff, right? And so I only tied flies, in the summertime. And when we started our GFW trip, 30 years ago, I always, I would get in and try to tie flies for the fellas and try to, do enough of them. But so I dabbled in it, but by no means. But I catch fish on flies I tied. It's fun. But so it's like, but I don't know the techniques that well. So I always watch videos to try to get, to try to pick up tricks and techniques and all that stuff. But yeah, dude, no, I'm the same exact way. Like, God damn it. Where's that? Fuck. I don't know. What did I do? Like, yeah, all the time. I'm like holding something on the hook and then I'm like, oh, wait, I need that. Oh, wait, it's way over there. God damn.
Yeah, right? I'm the same way, man. ADHD tying to the T. Honestly, I honestly, this is a kind of off subject, but like, everybody kind of rags on people that have ADHD. It's just like, oh, are you autistic? Are you this? Are you that?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, it might take me a little longer to figure some things out. My brain's always going 1,000 miles an hour. I get it, but it has helped me so much with designing flies and like coming up with new things. Because like, I'll be vacuuming and all of a sudden it's just like, bam, like something comes into my head and it's like, well, shit, I bet I got to go do this really quick, and it's like my kids are even looking at me like I'm crazy. And it's like, just hold on a second. I'm bombing out of the shower with my loofah, it's like, get out of the way.
That's
the
so
loofah
good.
hopper.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That might be something.
Nice.
Actually, that might make a good wing now.
You're gonna have to tell us when you come up with that one.
It might come.
Give us
now.
a shout out for the loofah hopper.
Yeah, loofah hopper. That's
so I gotta ask, like, you are like the foam king. Like, watching you, like, with your foam, I notice you have like 3-tiered colored foam.
Sometimes.
Do you do those? Like, how the hell do you do that? Like, can you buy tricolored foam, or do you glue them all together and then you cut them out?
Yep. Yeah, you gotta, dude. Like, going into Michael's is like my target for females. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I want like anytime I go to Michael's, Sawyer, my youngest, is all in because he's like, oh man, I get to get all sorts of stuff, and all I'm going for is the giant packs of foam. But yeah, I call it pressing the foam. But yeah, you got to use the 3M glue spray and spray both sides of the sheets. And then obviously you do the same with your other one, whatever color combo you want. And then I actually have a big flat pan and I stick 50 pounds of weight on top of it for 24 hours.
Okay.
And it sticks, but you can also there's foam that you can buy at Walmart and it has the adhesive glue already on it, and it's just got a piece of paper on the back. And I bet this is no joke, I have over 500 pieces of that in my closet. And my Sawyer loves it because he just goes in there and starts making all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm like, use the blue color, don't use the brown.
Right.
It's pretty funny, but there's definitely different techniques. But like that sticky, the one with the actual adhesive already on it, out of that whole pack, I only use like 4 colors out of like the 20 you get.
Right.
And which kind of sucks because it's kind of wasteful, but Sawyer finds resources for it. So
right, exactly. If your kid can be creative with it, great. Right. That's good.
Yeah, foam's awesome. I love foam.
Yeah, no, the hoppers you're creating are really cool.
I really appreciate
and
it.
it's funny because you're always like, yeah, this is super simple to tie. And then like, 15 minutes later, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't think I could ever do I'm like, how the hell did he do that?
I know. I need to stop.
I'm a true novice.
Because I have people actually send me messages on Instagram and they're like, this is not easy to tie, like in all capital letters. And it's like, do you know how many times I video chat with random guys and some females tying flies? Right. They'll be like, can I video chat you right now? And they'll just call me on Instagram. I'm like, I don't care.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm new into the dark arts. I think I've tied a total of 8 flies at over 4 different tying sessions, and so I'm a long ways from some of those techniques. I'd show off some of my beautiful creations here, but I don't know if I'm ready.
You did well, Ed. Yeah,
expose it to the world, man.
All right, let's see.
Yeah,
here, this is the first fly I tied was the woolly worm.
Nice.
I don't know if anybody will be able to see it. It doesn't
quite
focus
I
in.
Can see it.
So
yes,
it's over hackled, I'm sure, but we'll see if it catches something.
It'll catch a fish.
It'll catch a fish. It'll catch a fish.
When you're tying flies, how much are you trying to convince a fish to catch your fly, or how much are you trying to convince yourself to pick the fly? I have a theory that flies are more about catching the fisherman than they are about the fish.
Yeah, no, that's actually spot on. When I first started really getting into designing flies, back in like 2016, Yellowstone Fly Goods took one of my first patterns I ever came up with. I'm strictly Umpqua now, but
okay.
And at that point, I really started, like, how do I say this? Like, people are getting over the top, like, with what they're actually tying, me included, because it's just like, now you're getting to the point now where it's just like, you're trying to sell something to, like, what you just said. Like, to somebody, it's just like, oh my God, look at this hopper.
Right.
When the whole time, the only thing that fish sees is the silhouette.
Right.
They don't see the deer hair. They don't see all the fancy shit on top. You know what I mean? And I get carried away, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, let's do this. And then I look at it, I'm like, this is stupid. Like, this is literally all this fish sees. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's getting out of control. But I'm a part of the problem. So
that's the fun of it.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It is. But
and so when you're tying, what are you aiming for? What is scratching Kyle's itch when he's looking at?
Ooh, what is scratching my
device?
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. I'm blanking.
Because with watercolors, you're trying to create an image, and like you said, there's art with it. Is there a vision of ultimate achievement, or is it just sketching, or
it's a lot of sketching. Like, you have no idea. What was it? I don't know. About 4 years ago, because like in the middle of tying something, if I hated it, I just threw it away.
Okay.
I now finish everything I tie, whether I like it or not. I have a basket underneath my coffee table. It's about like that big. It's about that deep. And by the time late spring rolls around, that thing is chock full. And I have buddies that'll just show up and like leave me like, oh, I took 15, here's $10, and I'm like, I don't want your money. Like, it's in that thing for a reason,
Right.
Like, that's the crap. That's the crapola. Like, it doesn't even go in my box. And that's just what I do with them now. I don't throw anything away. I finish it to the end, and it's actually helped me for the next one.
Right.
And I'm trying to get away from tying hoppers, and I'm trying to get into more smaller things. It's just not working, because it's like, I'll be like, I'm gonna tie beetles. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come up with the next badass beetle pattern. In the midst of that, I'm like, shit, I gotta finish this. I got another hopper idea, and I go right back to tying a hopper. It's like, screw it, I give up. I'm a hopper guy.
Right on. Own it. That's good.
Own it.
So you got, how did it work with Umpqua? Like, how did that whole thing come about? How does, for Joe Schmo who goes into a fly shop and just, buys flies or whatever.
Right.
How do you become attached to them
Holy
or
cow.
how? Yeah. What was that process like? How did you get discovered?
Some people had been like, you maybe try to send your stuff into like a bigger company than Yellowstone Flag is. And I was like, I never felt like I was good enough. And I was like, I'm not sending in the Umpqua's like the tippity top, man. Like they're there. And one day I walked into East Rosebud Flying Tackle because the Umpqua tires were there. Doug McKnight and Alec Gerbeck were in there. And I go walking in there, and Alec walks right up to me. And he was like, dude, I was just slutting your page, man. Like, you need to send your bugs in to Umpqua. And he was working for Umpqua at the time. He's now a Yellow Dog. But he, and I was like, seriously? He's like, they need your flies, send them in. And so that apparently that was the push I needed. So I sent in, and they called me late that following spring, and they were like, congratulations, man, you're on. And I was like, what? If this puts this into any perspective, so August this year, I went down there for the Umpqua barbecue because I wanted to meet Brent Bauer and Matt Winkler and those guys. And I was like, because this is just cool as heck, right? And I get down there, I give them 15 more flies. And I just found out today that they didn't take any of them. So if that puts this into any perspective of how hard it is to actually even just get one in there, I have 4 in there, and now I'm just like, I'm privileged as shit. Like I'm like, like they just turned down 15 flies of mine that I thought were like, I fish them all the time, and they didn't want them, and I was like, okay, this is real life now. Like this is like
right. That's competition. That's right.
It really is. And the amount of tires that are out there that tie phenomenal stuff, it's unreal. And the fact that people keep coming up with new stuff is even more mind blowing at this point.
Right.
Like if you think of the amount of flies that are out there, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, absolutely. You can just look through all my fly boxes that are just collecting dust that are full of flies that I could literally fish like 5 patterns and probably do pretty well.
Right. Yeah, that's what it's kind of getting to. And it's
but it totally, like, you look at some of those, and I think from like a novice creator, I'd much rather like use what I have in materials, because I've amassed materials, and people who say, oh, I'm going to tie flies so I can save money in buying them. I'm like, the fuck you will. Like,
yeah, right.
Don't. You can collect so much stuff to tie flies with. It's just a matter of, do you have the creativity to go and like tie one, right? Yeah. So I'd much rather try to do that. But it's interesting because I look at all these cool flies on it. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. Like, I want that fly. I want that fly.
Right.
So it is, I imagine it's pretty challenging because you have, honestly, you tie some really good stuff, and so the fact that that they're declining you, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are they getting? Like, you know,
right? No, it's yeah, it was definitely. I was a little shocked, but at the same time, I'm not.
Right, right. So they kind of adopt your pattern then, and then they have tires that tie it.
Is that they tie it, and I just get royalties off of my sales.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you know what they're looking for? Like, did it? No.
I asked Matt and Brent that, and they're just kind of like, send in what you're good at, kind of thing. And it's just like,
right.
How many more foam things do you want from me? You know what I mean? So it's like, now I was actually just talking to my parents about this and told them, and I was like, I might have to sit down and rethink this. Like, I'm going to have to get even more cocky now for them to take a foam fly again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
right.
Which is fine, and it's cool. I mean, it keeps the creativity rolling and it ups the game a little bit. I like it.
Sure. Like motivates you.
Yeah.
It feeds the soul. It does all those things,
Oh, absolutely.
like you say, living with ADHD can't be easy. And I know because I've had students, you know what I mean, and they got tools in their toolboxes to help them get through, the times when it's really hard for them. And when you understand those things and can find, avenues and ways, to really nurture that kind of stuff through that, that's life, man. That's living. And when you can find something like tying flies that feeds that for you and allows you to blossom,
right.
You know what I mean, and really use your talents, that's awesome, dude. I think it's fantastic, man. I really do.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, ADHD is a bizarre thing because there's not too many things on the face of this earth that like my mind's not rolling. And there's only been like 2 things in my life where I'm like hyper focused on one thing, and it is time flies. If I'm sitting down and tying, I'm just focused on that. And the other one was climbing because I used to rock climb all over the place too, and ice climb and do all that stuff. And those are the only 2 things that I ever sat down, and that was the only thing going through my head.
Yeah,
right on.
It's pretty crazy trying to slow this baby down, man.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. It's more fun.
That's what everybody says. They're just like, please don't ever take Ritalin, and it's like, you got it.
I've heard that about rock climbing, and I think that Free Solo movie, Alex Honnold, or how do you say his name, and he sort of struggles with some of that stuff, or some rock climbers do, and they just like keep pushing it because it's like the only thing that slows their mind down is like being more danger.
Right. Yeah. It's no joke. It really is. Once we had Finn, I haven't touched rock since. Well, that's kind of
right.
She was like, "You're not doing that no more." I was like,
changes your perspective. Okay. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Say, speaking of that, being a father, your dad taught you to fish. Being a dad now with your kids, talk a little bit about that in terms of fishing. Do you take your kids? Have they got the bug? Have you passed that kind of legacy of outdoorsmanship to them? Right. Because that's special stuff. That's really cool stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So Sawyer's 9 now. So when he was 6, he started fly fishing, and Finn was 8, right? Something like that. And Finn's it's never really been his jam. He just loves floating, and anytime the water's a little bigger, he just freaking loves the crap out of it. He just likes getting Finn there, and then once we're there, he's good. But like Sawyer's like I was, like he doesn't sleep at night, like he's ready to roll. And Sawyer's into tying. He loves to tie.
Nice.
And Sawyer's the youngest, and he's really into arts and crafts and stuff like that. And Finn's the brainiac. Like Finn's super smart. He's into video games. He's into basketball, and that's just his stuff. And I'm not going to push it. And Finn loves hunting. And he doesn't understand. I'm like, you realize fly fishing, that's hunting, right? And he's like, no, it's not. He's like, there's no guts. Like, he's like, we're not pulling things out. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, I get where you're going with that. And Sawyer's opposite. He hates hunting. Like, like we shoot something, he's behind the truck crying, and it's just like, okay, you two are polar opposite. Like, it's crazy.
That's great.
But like camping and any of that stuff, they're totally in. Like, if I tell them on a Monday, hey, this coming weekend, we're going with our friends, the Crushes. We're going to go up to West Rosebud. We're going to camp the weekend, and they're jacked.
Nice.
And like Finn and them, they do their thing, and Sawyer follows me around with his fly rod, and we go and catch fish. And
that's awesome.
It is. It's super cool. And this year was a little different. They did run and gun basketball this summer. We usually float about 15 times a summer, and we only floated 3 times this year. That basketball started right when they got out of school and went all the way to the middle of August, and it was awesome. It was so cool watching how well or how much they improved just from June to August. And come August, Finn was averaging like, 13 points a game, like 6 assists and like 4 blocks. And I'm like, who are you? Like, you would dribble a ball and it bounced off your head. Like, I couldn't figure it out. Now you're like a stud. It's really cool.
That's great.
Speak a little bit about how, that has built your relationship, going and doing those things, creating memories together. How has that helped you as a father, your kids, things like that?
Oh man, I hope that I'm doing the same thing. Like, I'm gonna start crying, but I hope I'm doing the same thing that my dad did for me. Because life's unexpected, right? So it's like, if I died tomorrow, I hope my kids can look back and go, my dad was awesome.
Right.
Sorry, I'm going to start crying, but like,
that's all good.
That's what I'm going for. Like, I'm not a materialistic guy at all. Like, I mean, I'll buy something from Goodwill. I don't give a crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want my kids to have the best experiences with me as possible. And my ex-wife can do the shopping. I don't give a crap. But that's it. I'm just, I want them to have the same life I did.
Right on. That's good. I
Yeah.
love that. I think as dads, we all want, none of my kids have taken to fishing. I'm like, they're their own beast. Maybe someday they will. But, you just want them to have experiences and experience life and love and those kinds of things. It's brutal. Sometimes it's hard. We just had our first Thanksgiving without my oldest, because she's 22 now and working and job, and she couldn't come home, and it was weird and it was different and it sucked, and it was but it's kind of like that's what you train them for. So there's these moments in the discovery of it, and just my communication with her after, and letting her know, like, it really is about the time when you're together, and Christmas time isn't about the gifts, and it's not about that stuff. It's about, our time together. And that's becoming, I think, more valuable. My kids are starting to understand that, because now they're starting to see, wait a minute, we're all getting pulled in different directions now, as they go off and they're starting to live their lives and forge their paths. Right. And so it's as a parent, it's tough, but they're really starting to see it now. Like, oh shit, when we are together, like that's huge. Yeah. 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 So I think it's going to be really cool from that, from that standpoint of being together and spending that time together. So it's good that you're doing that with your kids and making that the focus of, because I think that's a real important thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I keep telling Ed, they grow up, because he's got a 3-year-old. 3? Today, 4 today.
She just turned 4 today.
4 today.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Happy birthday.
So I'm like, it goes quick, and it's like, dude, yeah, you blink and they're old. But enough of that shit. Yeah,
we're all gonna start crying.
That's the good shit. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's fun to watch. My daughter, she can't fly fish yet, but she does enjoy being out there, and those are the things that I'm gonna remember, is watching her, learn to dunk her hand in the water and get it wet before she touches the fish and stuff like that. It's just cool to watch her like just do that on her own now. It was kind of a wild realization this fall with her, but it's awesome to get out and do those things together and be mindful of making those memories.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because it's the first time that Sawyer ever fly fished. It's still his best day of fly fishing. Like, to this day, and like he still says it every time we go. He's like, "I'm beating 25 today." I was like, "Dude, it's about fun," and he just like gives me the stink eye, and it's like, "Okay, we're here for numbers." But that day, I'll never forget that day ever, because Finn just said, "Screw it," because Sawyer was just on fire in the front of the boat. And then Finn was like, "This is just more fun. Let's just watch Sawyer," and I'm rowing, and we're floating by my buddies guiding, Ryan Stefik and Chad Pavlik, and every time he'd hook up, whoever was next to us, he'd be like, "Hey, Chad, got another one," and I'd be like, "You gotta shut up, man." Like, they got grown-ass men in that boat, and there's a 6-year-old out here making them look like idiots.
That's awesome.
It was pretty funny, man. It was awesome. That's great. It's really cool to have friends that are, I mean, every time like to float by and he would do that, they'd be like, "Right on, Sawyer," and it's just like, it's cool to have supportive friends like that too. So it's, yeah.
That's good.
That's awesome. You sound like somebody that we definitely need to do a trip with. What would a day or a trip with you look like? 4 days, 3 nights. We come up to your neck of the woods. What are we doing?
Where are you taking us?
It's definitely going to be more than one day.
It's going to be multiple days.
Yeah, you're going to come in August, and we're going to throw hoppers, man, and we're going everywhere. Yeah. I mean, the Bighorn's only an hour and a half from here. And then we
Nice.
got the Yellowstone that comes right through here, the Stillwater, the Boulder, the Shoshone and Cody. I mean, in Eric's neck of the woods, everything is an hour and 20 minutes for me.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Then the Stillwater, to float the lower Stillwater, we'd be on the water in 50 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome, man. It's,
And you said all top water stuff, all dry flies, right? No
you
streamers.
come in August. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you hear that, Reid?
That's why I get so
You can
into
stay home.
hoppers. There's so many fields around here. Billings is a huge town, but I mean, the amount of fields from here to the Stillwater to the Bighorn, I mean, our hoppers every year are generally pretty good.
Right on.
Billings is probably the ugliest town you've ever seen in your life. Like, if you're driving through here and all you see are refineries, like, it's just like, this place is a crap hole. But like, you get into town and start meeting all the people, and it's pretty awesome, man. We have a pretty tight group of people here, and I actually just got asked about 3 weeks ago by a bunch of guys. They're like, we need to start a tying thing in Billings. I was like, oh, that'd be cool, man. I'll help. And they're like, we want you to do it. And I was just like, what? Like, okay. I mean, that's cool. Like, I'm in, but we're having a hard time finding anywhere to do it.
Right. It sounds like that's a good community.
Absolutely.
Right? And a pretty tight knit one. That's a big thing for us. We love the idea of community and building that. Oh, yeah. And it sounds like Billings is pretty good that way for you.
Billings is awesome. We only have one major fly shop here, and that's East Rosebud. Okay. But like it's kind of shocking considering how big this town is that there's only one fly shop. He's kicking butt.
Right.
But we need to do something about getting more people together to have more fun, and the amount of kids, like what Eric's doing. And I mean, the amount of kids, I get messages all the time because I try not to look at it when I'm at work, but I get messages from teenagers all the time. It's just like, I'm in Billings. Is there any way like we could meet up sometime? I'm like, dude, just say when, man. Like, I am all in to help you guys move this on, because like it seems like it's changing a lot. Like, getting kids to do anything anymore, it's like pulling hair. And it's like, I tried, like we just talked, I tried pressing that into my kids like there wasn't an option, kind of. Like, you're gonna be outside, you're gonna get sunburned to crap, I hope, and it's like, but so anytime with the kids, and right now I kind of just sent out a message to a bunch of people here in Billings just to see. And right now on board, there's over 50 people that are like, say when.
Wow.
And
awesome.
it's like, okay, because we were going to go to the Kava house here in Billings. I don't know if you guys know what Kava is, but it's what people go and drink if they don't drink anymore. Like, it's a room. Cool. Anyway, and I was like, cool, I'll talk to them and see maybe we can go in there. And then literally they were like, oh yeah, that'd be cool to do in here in the evenings and stuff. And now it's like, that's already bypassed. So now I got to find somewhere else that's like can hold like, say, even 30 people come. You know what I mean? I mean, that's with all their tying stuff. That's a lot of room. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And that's the push right now. And I got some of my female friends, Emma Berry. She's one of the best tyers I know. Phenomenal human being, phenomenal fly fisherman, and she wants to help out with this stuff too. And she's such a cool person. She's actually somebody you guys should probably think about interviewing sometime.
Yeah,
right on.
She was just, I don't know if you guys but she was just on Trout TV this summer on the Bighorn. She's awesome.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we'll definitely link up with her.
She's a really good friend of mine.
Well, it's awesome that you're taking. It's awesome that you're taking the initiative to put that stuff together. I know a lot of people are really craving, and that's kind of one of the main things that we're focused on is working to get people back together, talking, having fun together in person. Off the digital platforms as much as possible, and connecting in person again. And it's awesome that you're taking the initiative to put that together and try and do something up there. I realize there's a lot of hurdles that take to make that happen, but good on you for all that.
it's a lot. I haven't talked to Umpqua yet. I highly doubt they'll be able to help out too much. But trying to even just find like random people that donate stuff or something. I have emails sent out. I haven't heard back from anybody or anything, but it's, I don't know. To start, it would have to hopefully be somebody cool. It's just like, yeah, you can use this space. Don't worry about money right now. We'll figure that stuff out later.
Yeah.
I got to find somebody like that.
Right? They're out there.
Well,
That's
I'm
for
a
sure.
single dad, man. Don't ask for a lot.
We'll do our best to help out where we can.
Right.
That's right.
No, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it pans out, and I'll definitely, you guys will know for sure when that starts going. So
good deal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah, we'd like to get involved too with your when you hook up with Eric on your fight.
Fishing for the fight?
The fishing for the fight? Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. You're doing that with him.
Holy smokes! Yeah. So Chauncey started that thing. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna murder this. I think it was 8 years ago because his wife got cancer, and they were struggling and was trying to figure out a way to help people that were struggling with cancer. I mean, you get cancer. I mean,
right.
And started this fishing for the fight thing, and it's erupted. And it is single-handedly one of the coolest things I get to do every year. And it was such an honor for them to even ask. They were like, is there any way you could help? And I was kind of hesitant at first, and all I had to do was be down there for the first one. And I was like, I'll never miss July 17, 18, 19, a day of my life. As long as I'm here, I will be there for that thing. And it is such a cool thing. They raise a bunch of money for people, and it's, I don't know. I'm all in for people wanting to help people, and they do it. It's really awesome.
That's awesome. So you go, you guide, you take people out. Is that how it works?
Yep. So Thursday's the huge banquet, and then like you meet who you're going to be taking the next 2 days, and Friday and Saturday you have different people, and it's so stinking cool.
That's awesome.
It is so much fun. I mean, I team Hyde last year, Hyde drift boats, and I had such an awesome time with those guys. And packing Matt around and his dad that started Hyde drift boats. I mean, he's like 85, 86, had a heart transplant or something. I don't know, pacemaker. And I'm just like arm in arm with him. And Matt's like, I'll be upriver. I'll just take pictures of all my fish, and the sizes. And I was like, that works for me. I'll be back here. And such an awesome day. I had so much stinking fun, and it's like, it was such a blast.
Good. That's good.
And where Eric is at, I mean, Minnesota is like the land of 10,000 lakes, right? Pinedale is the land of 10,000 rivers. I swear to God, like there is water everywhere.
Everywhere.
Every bit of it has a trout in it.
Right.
I mean, he is in trout mecca down there. I'm still mad at him for when he started guiding down there. Like I didn't have a family yet. Like I didn't have nothing. And like, I don't even know if cell phones were really awesome even then. Might have been the flip ones. I don't even know. And like we kind of lost track there for a little bit. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm down in Pinedale. You should come down here. And I was like, I just got married, man. I can't leave. Like this is like
where was
real
that
life.
call 5 years ago?
Yeah. And ever since then, like he's tried to weasel me to come down there. And it's like, I got 9 years till Sawyer graduates. And as soon as Sawyer graduates, I am freelancing for a year. I already gave my 10-year notice last year to the people I work for, and they just kind of sat there looking at me. I was like, 10 years, I'm gone for a year. And they're just like, what?
Oh, good. What?
It was like, try me, man. I'll be in Argentina and Pinedale.
Nice. Yes.
Well, this has been awesome. How about we wrap this up with the GFW hot seat?
Okay.
Welcome to the GFW Hot Seat, where the name of the game is to answer the questions. And the prizes are... Wait, who said we have prizes?
It's Ed's greatest creation.
It is. What is one thing you're currently celebrating in life?
I think being a year and a half sober is pretty huge for me. Anybody that knew me prior... I have such an addictive personality of all sorts of things. I mean, it's quitting drinking was the biggest thing, and I'm going to continue celebrating that.
That's awesome, dude. Every single day, brother. Every
Yeah.
single day.
Yeah, it's
That is it's an incredible achievement, especially with parenting and being a single dad and working and juggling, and life throws a lot of shit at you, dude.
Yeah,
And so
dude.
every day you do it, it's a celebration, my friend.
It is just
It
out here
really
raw
is.
dogging life, man. It's
That's
something
right.
else.
That's right. Yep. Yep. Congratulations with that, man. That is a good thing to celebrate.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
All for the kids, man.
That's
Gotta
right.
be there,
That's right. That's good. Kyle, give us one piece of content, a book that was good, a video, a series, a movie, or something that you'd like to share with or recommend to our listeners.
If anybody's like, I think the best book, I can't even remember who wrote it, but the best book I've ever read that dealt with fly fishing and it's called Wisdom of the Guides.
Okay.
It is a phenomenal book. And they go through like 6 or 7 different guides, and they go through, and every single one of them fishes differently. It's really crazy, but like you can go through all that, take bits and pieces from each one of the articles or whatever you want to call it, each chapter, and it's a phenomenal book. It really is.
Sweet.
Yeah, good. It's something that people really should check into if you can even find it anymore. I would assume so. I read it back in like 2001.
Yeah, that's good. It's probably still around.
That's cool.
Yeah, right on.
It's a great book. If you guys can find it, read it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
What is one of your favorite fishing memories?
Ooh.
So good. So many, I'm sure.
I don't know. I know. I can't really top Eric's or whatever he said about catching. His last fish was his favorite. I was like, you dink, how's anybody going to match that?
Yeah.
Honestly, if I have to pick one, it was 4 years ago. My dad and my Finn and Sawyer were with us, and we were floating, and I had my bench seat in the front with both seats, and we're floating, and my dad is like, I'm fishing hoppers today. That's it. And so he's throwing one of my poutine hopper in pink all day. And like he hooked like one fish, and it was a huge fish, but we lost it. And we're floating, we're getting down close to Holly's hole, and we're floating along, and I just happened to glance off to my left, and my hopper, I mean, I could see it clear as day. And all of a sudden it just went, just disappeared. Like nothing. Like I'd never seen. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Dad. And he sets the hook, and he lands a 28-inch brown on the bighorn on a dry fly. And I'll never forget it. And I'm really mad what happened to my phone because my phone got trashed and I lost the video. But I'm videotaping it, and my dad's laughing, and my kids are like, "That's the biggest thing I've ever seen." And my dad's a big man. I mean, we're big guys. I mean, he's 6'7", and he's holding this thing and like this. And my buddy Wayne, he was out guiding that day, but he even floated by and he was like, "Bakkos, oh my god!" And I don't think I'll ever forget that a day of my life. And I mean, that was 4 years ago. So I mean, my kids were 8 and 5,
right?
8 and 6, something like that, and like they still talk about it.
That's great. That's great.
They'll come out of nowhere, you know, and they'll just be like, "Remember that day?" I'm like, "Yeah, so you also pooped your pants that day. Do you remember that?"
You got to take the good with the bad.
Out. He'd probably be pissed I said that, but
no, we're keeping it in.
It was such an amazing trip, and just I really wish I had that video just to even watch on my own sometimes going to bed. You know what I mean? Because it was such a special moment. All the Bakkos are like,
three generations of Bakkos, man. That's cool.
Pretty dope.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Was pretty awesome, and it was on one of my bugs, so it was even cooler. So
heck yeah.
Right. What's one piece of advice that you would have given or wish someone had given your 20-year-old self?
Stay away from women. Shit, I don't. Stay true to yourself.
Good.
Don't let people dictate who you are. Stay to who you are. If people want you to change, they're the ones that need to change, not you.
Yep. Good. Love it.
What is your definition of community?
Ooh, like we talked about earlier, getting that tying thing together and trying to get this community tied together is definitely up there for that, for sure. And including in that community thing, like I mentioned to Emma earlier, like getting women involved with that community itself, that is such a huge thing. Like it needs to be an important thing. Like they
Right.
need to be included. I mean, some of these women that I know would kick all of our asses on the river.
Yeah.
And
Right.
not even bat
Yeah.
an eye, you know what I mean? Just smile and put the push back, and we'd all be like, and I don't know.
Right.
I think that's something that we need to start pushing that more, I think. But
Right.
Heck yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
What is one thing you've changed your mind about recently?
Oh my God. Changed my mind.
Well, your mind's changing all the time.
I know. I was
It's
like,
racing.
dude, I just switched like 8 things in my head just now. One thing I would,
It was probably the loofah hopper.
yeah, the loofah hopper. One thing I would change right now. Well, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know.
It's all good.
It's all good.
I'm
all
trying.
good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
think about it 2 in the morning and I'll text you.
Yeah,
You'll be like, oh, I should have said this.
Right? I'm gonna be doing that all night. I'm gonna be like, oh my God.
you can mail it in.
Yeah.
We'll plug it in.
We'll plug it in. Yeah, that's always a good question because it's always, I like the idea of being reflective and trying to, you know what I mean? Like when we're so staunch in our thoughts, and when we actually slow down and think about maybe this perspective or changing the way I think about something like that. I just think there's a lot of value in that. That's why we added that question.
I actually was just thinking about that when you said that. I was like, dude, yeah, changing some things on how I speak to people, and especially even at work, like changing how my tone is towards guys instead. Like nobody wants to learn from a bully, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just like I'm glad that you said that because now it just kind of made it in my head.
That's good.
I definitely changed that. I even changed that last year. I stopped telling people what to do and just started giving them suggestions.
Yeah.
And every one of them took my suggestion. And at the end of the year, I was like, did anybody notice that I did this instead of just being like, do it my way? And they were like, well, yeah, we talk about it all the time. We like the suggestion idea. I was like, because you're still doing what I'm asking you to do. They're like, yeah, but you're not yelling.
Yeah,
right. We're sticking to the suggestion thing. I'm just going to start suggesting things, and like, you're like my kids, apparently. I don't know.
Good, right? Yeah.
Maybe don't eat your boogers. I don't
know. Eat the ones out of the left nostril, not the right nostril.
Right? Always left.
So our last segment is what we call our conversation between guests, and this comes from Eric Johnson over at Trout Routes. And his question to you is, what are some things that you're doing in your off season that are keeping you excited and engaged with whatever fly fishing pursuit is your bread and butter?
Easily tying.
Right.
Easily.
That's an easy one for you.
That's an easy one because that's my gateway. I mean, that's my release from everything.
Right.
Like whether I'm sitting down and like coming up with something new, or I'm tying a royal wolf for the 10,000th time. You know what I mean? Like my dad was a psychiatrist or psychologist. I don't know whichever, but his was gardening.
Okay.
And but that was such a minimal span of time. You know what I mean? So like once it was springtime, like he was never inside. Like you go outside and it looked like he was rolling in his plants, you know, and it's just like, I think everybody needs to have something. I know I'm kind of off subject of what he said, but everybody needs to have some sort of release. And mine, luckily, is tying flies.
Right.
And that keeps me super busy in the winter. I'm actually looking forward to those 20 below zero days. So it's I got all the foam ready. We're ready to roll.
Nice.
You'll have to start using the blue sheets.
Yeah. I do. You know how many times I get asked for damselflies all the time, and it's like, I don't do that. Maybe I should start. I don't know. Maybe I should start. What you were talking about earlier on your fly tying stuff, and you don't have a lot of stuff. I think you would actually be shocked at how little amount of stuff I have. A lot of my guide buddies and stuff, they're like, dude, you're like the redneck fly fisherman, fly tie. Like, you don't have shit. They're like, your chest vest is from like LL Bean in 95, dude. Like, it's kind of funny. It's like, I have a stack of foam about like this much right next to my desk. And then I just have like this little black compartment thing. I just got deer hair, rubber legs, dubbing. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's about it. Like, I'm not I'm not a fancy dude. And like you said, you come up, you work with what you got.
Yeah. Yeah.
I work with what I got.
Yeah, it's working well. It's working well for you.
I appreciate it.
So,
what is your question for our next guest?
How are you going to make your life, someone else's life, better?
Nice. Awesome. Good question.
I love that.
Good question. Right on.
Well, this has been awesome.
Yeah, this has been really, really fun. It only took a couple minutes, and I was completely relaxed talking to you guys. So
it's good, dude. Yeah,
you're a hoot to talk with.
Easy living,
absolutely. Easy living. Good. Well, dude, we got to connect. We got to get up and come your way.
Absolutely.
We're talking about maybe coming out doing our trip in Montana this year.
Okay.
So. Yeah, we'd love to swing up and connect at some point. That would be a phenomenal thing for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, just give me a big enough heads up, because even if it was one of my kids this weekend, I can just switch weekends. It's not that big of a deal.
He can come along too. They can come along.
Yeah.
We're not opposed to that at all.
Talking shit the whole time, dude. You're doing it wrong. Like, you're not.
That's great, dude.
Yeah, how can people find you and help support you and all you're doing?
I'm on Instagram, Big Sky Bum, Kyle Bakko. There's a fake one on there. Don't follow that one. It's one that's got like more followers on there.
You've reached the status of having a fake account.
I guess. I don't know why somebody would want to do that. They clearly don't know me.
Right. Big Sky Bum is it. And you have a YouTube channel, correct?
I do have a YouTube channel. Yep. And that's under Kyle Bakko too. Yep.
Okay. All right. Yep. Good deal. Your videos are worth watching, man.
I appreciate it. I'm going to start doing more YouTube ones once it starts getting cold outside. I'm going to start doing more. So.
Right on.
Yeah, that's cool. I had no clue you watched them. That's really cool.
Yep. I'm always trying to get new stuff.
We do our research.
Nice.
Yeah. Right on, brother.
Well, that was fun.
Well, we'll talk soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
You bet.
Thank you. I can't wait to get together and tie with Kyle.
I'm telling you, dude, that would be so much fun to have just like all of us on the thing, just tying flies and giving each other shit. Yeah.
I need help with the basics. You know, he'll be blowing past me. You will too. And I'll just be over here trying to, thread my hook.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You'll just be a little slow. That's all. You'll just be behind a little bit. No, that was a great conversation. What an intriguing guy. Gives some really good insight into one, like his ADHD stuff and living with it and parenting and that kind of stuff. It's amazing. How well he's doing with that stuff. But yeah, just an all around great guy. One of my favorite conversations was when we talked with Eric, his buddy, Eric Oram up at Two Rivers. And so, yeah, these two guys, man, what a trip that would be getting out with those guys.
Right. They're kind of like mirror clones of each other, just different. They don't look alike, but they're very similar personalities. It's cool to see two buddies from across the country just hanging out. So
would love to get up and be a part of that that fight, what is it, the cast for fight or fight for whatever it is, that charity event that they do.
You botched it.
Fishing for the fight. It would be fun to get up there and be a part of that charity event that they do. That would be cool. That sounds like a blast. So,
and I know that he called out Emma Barry. We're going to get her on the show. So Emma, if you're listening, which I know you probably are,
yep,
we're coming for you.
Nice. Well, dude, what are you celebrating these days?
I am celebrating, you might have heard me mention it on the show or the interview, my daughter's birthday, turning 4 this year. It's awesome to see her grow up, her mind sucking in all of the information of the world, getting her opinions and figuring out how to trick me into getting what she wants. It's really fun to watch.
Getting her opinions even when you don't ask for them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, dude, you guys are doing a great job. She's a hoot. You're doing a great job of raising that kid. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. So happy birthday.
That's good stuff, dude.
When you listen to this in, 15 years, whenever you get around to it, happy birthday.
Happy 4th birthday. That's awesome.
What are you celebrating?
I am, I've been in a really good routine, especially with my exercise, for the last week and a half.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been getting up earlier. I kind of got out of getting up early and was getting up a little later and it didn't feel that great. And so now I'm getting up early again and working in my rowing, a half-hour rowing session every morning, like before I go sub, before I do, before we start working. So that feels good, to be able to get into a routine. That structure and that routine can be super helpful, especially when it comes to exercise, especially when you get to your older age, when, sleeping in sounds a lot better.
For sure.
But I've been enjoying the quiet time too in the morning. That's been really kind of replenishing for the soul and the heart and all that good stuff. So, in the mind. So it's been good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Keep patting yourself on the back.
Thanks, man. How about navigation, bro?
Navigation. So I had to go get an oil change this morning. Mm-hmm. And the feedback on the rest of the car was less than desirable. So cars are fun and awesome and helpful for a lot of life's journeys, and especially going and doing what we're doing. We've taken my vehicle a lot of places.
Right.
But she finally got a couple bad bills of health, and so a couple big projects on the docket. They're overcomable, but they're those projects where you're like, it's like,
I'd so much rather put my money into, like a float trip down, the Madison River or something.
Right. They're that size where it's like, you just get them done. They don't kill the car, but they are big enough that, they are more than an oil change. So,
right.
That's what I'm navigating. So
nice. Getting
quotes for that and figuring out, when to do it, especially around all the holidays and everything. So, but they got to get done. So, yeah, cars, awesome,
nice. That is a navigation that never ends.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get my kids to understand that. Speaking of navigations and kids, navigating the parenting of the older children, like they're adult children, or child adults, right? However you want it, they're like kind of on that verge of leaving the nest, but getting them to realize and understand the value and the need to save money. There's just going to be, I think, an incredibly rude awakening, which, as I think about my own, I remember there was a time when I phoned home and my dad was like, tough shit. I guess you don't have a car until you can afford to fix it. And it was like, oh, that's what you meant when you said I should be building like a savings. Okay, I get it now. And maybe it's just that they have to feel that pain, dude, right? Yeah. But it seems like it goes in one ear and out the other. And so the navigation of that is tough, especially when it comes to finances. You know, you want your kids to learn from the mistakes you made, and sometimes, I don't know, they might make the same fucking mistakes. I don't know how to keep them from not doing that, but whatever.
Well, maybe you'll get the call and you'll get to say the same thing and pass on the lesson the same way you learned it.
That's exactly right. And I'm going to phrase it the exact same way. Tough shit. Guess you don't have a car.
Well, we'll just snip this clip and then you can just send it to him. Maybe that'll help speed up the process.
There's this thing called the bus. Yeah, get used to that. Public transportation. That's good stuff, dude.
Well,
life's navigations, buddy.
That's right.
Yep.
They're always coming.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, man, another good one in the books.
Another goodie.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Absolutely.
Till the next one.
All right, brother. Love you.
Love you too, man. See ya.
That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening. Make sure to visit our website, guysfishingweekend.com, to check out the GFW merch, sign up for our newsletter, and learn how to get involved with the community. We appreciate you spending even a little bit of your week with us and are glad to have you along on the journey. Stay legendary and happy fishing.